Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today's video is going to be, I think I'm gonna call it my breastfeeding favorites. So if you're new here, I am a mom of two girls. One girl, 5 months old, her name's Parker. My other daughter's name's Riley and she's 2. I breastfed Riley until she turned 1, like a couple weeks after she turned 1, and so far this one's exclusively breastfed too. No shame to formula feeding moms. However you can get the job done is good by me. So I wanted to do a video of just my favorite breastfeeding essentials. I know there's a lot of things out there that are popular, you know, that everybody else likes, but there's a lot of those things that I have found didn't work for me. So just keep in mind when you're watching this that this list is not like the end all be all. This is just my favorite things that I have found work for me. So let's jump right into my breastfeeding favorites. The first absolutely essential breastfeeding item for me has been my Haakaa pump. This is a manual silicone breast pump. This one that I have actually has like a little cork, I guess. Some of them have a lid. I just like this one better. The bottom is a suction, so you can like suction it to a table so it doesn't tilt over. It has measurements on it, so this one fills up to 4 ounces. They have some that I believe go to 5 or 6. This is the newer one. It's got a little, you can see just this little rib in it, I guess. So how I use it to get the most powerful suction, I flip this flange back, squeeze the bottom, the base, and then you would put your nipple straight into this hole, flip the flange back, and then let go of this, and it will have suctioned, and you'll just see it start to fill up. You can put this on your opposite breast when you're breastfeeding on one so that this catches your letdown and you're not wasting it into a breast pad. Or if you just need to pump, you can use this. I feel like it works as good as an electric pump. Now, obviously, if I were working like a full-time job and I needed to completely empty myself because my baby wasn't gonna be with me, I would use my electric breast pump. But this thing is an absolute gem, like definitely a necessity for me. I didn't have it with my first daughter and I couldn't have lived without it so far with Parker. So since I was talking about electric breast pumps, we'll go ahead and go over my pump next. I have the Spectra S1. This thing is slightly pricey, but it's worth it. It is able to be used without being plugged into the wall. So you can charge it up and it does have a battery life, which is awesome. So, I mean, obviously we can't all afford like the ones that are cordless that go into your bra. This is like the next best thing. They also have a different one that cannot be used without being plugged in, and it's pink instead of blue. I've just found that it fully empties me the best. I have used a Medela pump and I just didn't get the same results as I do with this Spectra. This has a lot of excellent other features you can look at online. This is definitely a staple, especially when I was a working mom and not a stay-at-home mom. This definitely was a necessity. Since we're on the topic still of breast pumps, I have one of the flanges from my breast pump. Another necessity for me, especially when I, like I said, was using my electric pump and I was working and I was pumping quite a bit, is I guess you would call it like pumping or milk storage system. I had found it while searching on Target, I believe, and it has been an absolute lifesaver. It's called the Kinde, K-I-I-N-D-E system. I have turned a lot of people onto this. It is so convenient. Depending on what kit you order, it comes with a lot of different things, but the important pieces are that it comes with an adaptive piece that is specific to your pump. So this is the Spectra flange. This is the adaptive piece for the Spectra pump. So this connects to here and twists on, okay? So then you see that the opening at this point is much smaller than it was when this was off, okay? Because this would usually hook to a bottle, the Spectra bottle. So this on makes it a lot smaller. And then you can purchase these milk pouches. So this would be similar to like your breast milk bags, like the Lansinoh brand or whatever. This is just their pouch. This specific one holds 8 ounces of milk, and they have them that only hold 5 as well. These are left over from when I was at the end of my breastfeeding journey with Riley, and I was pumping quite a bit because she was obviously a 1-year-old and drinking a lot of milk. So the cap comes off, and then this hooks to this, just with a simple twist. And then obviously this part would be hooked up to your pump, and you would put this on, and you would be pumping milk directly into your storage bag. And then when this comes off and you're all done, put the cap on, date it, put how many ounces is in it, and then pop it in the freezer. Like, seriously, does it get any better? And just FYI, my toddler is playing with my breast pump in the background to keep her occupied. So if you hear any funny noises or chit-chatting, that would be what that is. So another essential for me, I have an extremely forceful letdown. I have tried to use reusable breast pads and they just didn't stay in place for me, and I would leak through them every time. So my favorite brand of breast pads is the Lansinoh brand. They have two different ones, but these ones are my favorite. Like many breast pads, you just tear it apart. It has the adhesive sticker on each side and you just open it up. Like I said, I have an extremely forceful letdown and I produce quite a bit of milk, and this works excellent for me. At the very beginning, when I have just had the baby and my milk's kind of like all over the place, I have to change these like a couple times a day. But then once my supply has regulated out, I can wear one of these for like 2 to 3 days without changing it. I've tried a couple other brands of breast pads, but they get itchy or they just start to feel uncomfortable. These ones make me feel the most dry and they don't irritate me. So another obvious staple is a bunch of burp rags. I literally bought probably 20 burp rags just because, I mean, those early months, they're spitting up a lot, you're leaking a lot, you know, you're hurry, grab the, you know, as a breastfeeding mom, I'm always like, where's my burp rag? I can't find the burp rag. Mitch is like looking all over for it. My milk's letting down and spraying everywhere. Like, many burp rags are so essential, you know, so that you can just throw them in the washer and have another one ready instead of only having like 5. You can have one in the living room, one in the bedroom. Definitely get plenty of burp rags. So as far as nipple cream, they have found that anything that has lanolin or lanolin, I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, actually works opposite and dries out your nipples. So my favorite nipple cream for both girls was this Motherlove nipple cream. So you can actually read and understand the ingredients on the back, and it doesn't have to be wiped off before you breastfeed. It's actually good for their lips when they're like brand new, because their lips get a little bit dry, so it's good for it to get on their lips too. So this is the color of it. In the first couple weeks, it's absolutely essential that you put this on before and after every single feed. Even if your nipples aren't cracked, even if they're not hurting, even if they're not bothering you, do it anyway. Like, do yourself a favor, because if you don't, then trying to catch up with it once they're bad is like the devil. So before and after every single feeding, even if your nipples aren't hurting, this is like excellent. There was another one that I think that I tried that wasn't bad, but this has been my favorite one. So yeah, Motherlove nipple cream. Another thing which seems kind of silly to bring up is a bottle brush, but in specific, this one. This is the Munchkin brand, and this is called the bristle bottle brush. The thing that I like about this one is that it has multiple different parts on it that can clean. So on the back side, it has this like rubbery edge, just, you know, and then it also has this to get into like this bottom sides of a bottle to really get it clean. And then also it obviously suctions, so that's nice to be able to like have it up on your counter. But this part also twists off, and you have this for your smaller pieces of your pump parts or bottles. So that's super nice. It seems silly to have a bottle brush on this list, but it is important because you are sterilizing and, you know, cleaning your parts often, or you should be. Another essential are these quick clean micro steam bags. I don't think you necessarily need the Medela brand. I've had other brands and they work great too, but these ones are great. So you get 20 uses out of this bag. It has a little checkbox here that you can mark off each time that you've used the bag to keep track. You literally just disassemble the parts, scrub them thoroughly like you normally would, and instead of like having to sterilize something on top of the oven, you literally pour 60 milliliters of water into this bag, put all the parts in here, zip it up, and then pop it in the microwave for this specific amount of time. Then when you pull it out, you hold it on this side, you can see that there's like a little opening right here. I don't know if you can see that, and you literally just pour the water out, let it sit to cool for a minute, and then your parts inside are sterile. Like, these are freaking awesome. Like, you don't have time to be sitting watching a boiling pot of water. Just get these. They are a lifesaver. Another thing that is definitely important is nursing bras, nursing camis. When I first started breastfeeding, I thought I liked the clip ones, and I did use them for quite a while, but I'm to a point now where it's like, I'm just trying to hurry up and get it done. So I like the ones that you literally just pull over. Those are my favorite, but find which one works for you, but definitely have a couple on hand before you start your breastfeeding journey. Another thing that's really important in maintaining your supply and keeping it up is drinking plenty of water. So get a reusable tumbler like this, or get a cute one. I have several of these, so that you can be washing them out and changing them out and drink plenty of water. on the same subject, snacks are absolutely critical. Those first couple weeks as your body's adjusting and getting used to like needing more calories and you needing to eat more, you're gonna be up feeding in the middle of the night and you're gonna be starving. So just have a couple snacks at your bedside, like granola bars or things like that, because you're gonna be hungry. Always have snacks nearby. So the last thing that I want to mention that has been super important to me is the baby tracker app. So the app looks like this. That app is super awesome in charting feedings, whether it's breastfeeding or formula, diaper changes, poop, pee, anything like that. Naps, medications, vaccines, firsts, like, you know, first time they crawled, first time they rolled over, all that stuff you can chart in here. You can personalize it with a picture like I have. You can have more than one kid in it at a time like I do. So the baby tracker app, it is free, but I did pay for the upgrade just because it's worth it with how often I've used it. Literally, I am on it several times throughout the day, like all day. I'm a little OCD about it. Like I like having everything documented. So maybe that's not for you, but it's been important for me. So I'm sure you're probably shocked that there's no like breastfeeding pillows in this video. And that's just because for me, I don't know if it's because I have a long torso or what. I've tried the boppy. I have 2 boppies actually, and I ended up sleeping with them myself as a pillow more than I ever even used it. It just was down too low, and you know, in order to breastfeed her, I needed her up high, so it just was like down here, and it just didn't really do anything for me. I have it in case if I want to use it, but hi baby. Obviously, breastfeeding pillows are super popular with any type of feeding that you do, breastfeeding or bottle feeding. For little kids to hold a baby, they're nice, but they just weren't for me. They just have never really been beneficial, I guess. But over the last couple days, I've just made like a running list of things that I'm constantly reaching for. I'm sure there are probably things that are missing from this video that I actually reach for often, but as far as things that I use daily, this is it. Share with me your breastfeeding favorites in the comments below. If you like videos like this, let me know. I would like to do a video of like maybe my 0 to 6 month favorites or toddler favorites. I'm sure since we have another month of quarantine that I will be coming up with some off the wall videos. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the little bell if you'd like to be notified anytime I upload a video. And thank you so much for watching. Say see you in the next one. Bye.